Hey gang, Tom Corley here with your tip of the week. This week's topic, joining the 5 a.m. club. What is the 5 a.m. club? In my research, in my Rich Habits study, I found that 44% of the wealthy woke up 3 hours or more before they actually got into the office or began their workday. Now, why is that important? Well, what makes that important is what they actually did with that 3 hours. They did things that were productivity things, things that moved them forward in life, things that helped them achieve dreams and goals. And many of those dreams and goals required additional knowledge. So they spent a good portion of their morning reading to gain knowledge. And they also exercised aerobically about 20 to 30 minutes a day. Now, what I found later on when I was doing some more research on this particular rich habit, this aerobic exercise rich habit, was that the wealthy people stumbled into something. You see, there's a lot of studies out there that indicate that aerobic activity actually increases your IQ. It increases your intelligence. The way it does this is by feeding your brain with more oxygen. Now, the brain fuel is oxygen and glucose. But in order to convert the glucose to, it gets broken down into, it's something called ATP. In order to break it down into ATP, the brain cells require oxygen. If you don't have enough oxygen flowing through the brain, you don't have enough glucose. So when you feed your brain with oxygen through aerobic exercise, you're actually increasing the amount of brain fuel. And this is really helpful because if you're doing all of this reading and trying to gain all this knowledge, that brain fuel helps create new neurons. It helps grow new neurons. And not only that, it helps preserve existing neurons. It helps strengthen them and makes them healthier. Increases the number of synapses in your brains. Your brain size actually increases. The mass of your brain actually increases when you engage in aerobic activity and couple that with studying or gaining knowledge. Another thing, talk about studying. What the wealthy people in my study during those 3 hours, they were studying for something. They might have been studying for college, might have been studying for grad school, might have been studying for a certification, they might have been studying for some license that they needed that would help them make more money. So they were doing certain things in the morning that could help them make more money down the road. They were basically investing in themselves. They also were members of nonprofits. Now, why does that matter? Well, nonprofits help you build relationships with other successful people. So during the morning hours, they would spend time managing their role, whatever it might be, in the nonprofit. Some were on boards, some were on committees, and they would spend time either meeting with people that were on the board or that they were part of their committee, or they would be doing work. They would be preparing certain things for the nonprofit. So that was very important. That helped grow their relationships. They also prepared for something in the mornings. It might have been a speech, it might have been a presentation, it might have been a meeting, they might have been prepping themselves because they're making sales calls, and salesmen make a lot of money, good salesmen make a lot of money, or they might have been preparing something like writing a book, writing an article. I do a lot of that. Some of the wealthy, 23% of the wealthy in my study, they engaged in speaking engagements, and I think about 12% of them were writers. They wrote something, either in newsletters or magazines or newspapers. They were contributors to the media, things like that. So these precious morning hours, that 3 hours, is an investment in yourself. And that's one of the common traits of self-made millionaires. They invested in themselves, and they did this primarily in the morning. Well, that's it for this week. I look forward to sharing my next tip of the week with you, and have a great week and a productive week. Thanks. Bye.